It's your primitive land. It's your primitive land. We got a big one. Never search it to find out how hard.
All right, Shelby's joining us right away today. I'm going to throw her backstage. We got a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, well, that was weird. What are you doing?
I screwed up.
I just said it to you, and you ignored me.
I couldn't hear you.
I was like, "Hey, is Shelby going to go backstage, or are you going to just go live with her?" And you're like,
"Listen, I can't do it today. Don't give me any grief today. I can't do it today."
We've had a format for 6 months, and all of a sudden you forget the format.
I know, and today's the first day I've worn a duplicate shirt.
I don't even notice because I don't pay attention to that stuff.
I know, I do. It's really weird. I used to yeah, it's very important to me. Okay, it's just my own OCD. And
I know it's important. See, I don't notice when you wear the same shirt because, I pay attention to what's on the inside.
That's actually not the case at all whatsoever.
It's completely the case.
Oh my God, how's mom and dad?
Well, this morning was a little crazy because I had everything all planned out. I was like, okay, I'm going to go outside and do the show. And then my kids are like, we're going to go outside. And I'm like, no, you're not. And then I was like, I'm going to go inside. And then they're like, we're coming inside. And I'm like,
if two more people there, it'd be more under control.
Yeah. And then Anna's like, you should have this planned out. I'm like, I had it all planned out. But then they're like, we want to go here. No, we're going to go over there. Daddy, what are you doing? You're going outside? Oh my gosh, I want to go outside. Put on my shirt. So anyway, I'm at my parents' house in New Jersey, so I don't have my regular office. So
I like that your beard matches your hoodie right now.
It's like I'm monochromatic, like all in one.
Mono.
You can't tell where my beard starts and my sweatshirt begins. It's chilly up here down here in New Jersey. It's actually chillier here in New Jersey than in Michigan, which is strange.
It's 36 degrees this morning in Chicago.
Yeah, what is it right now? It might be colder in Michigan. I'm just not there. I don't know.
It's really that volume just went up much better. It's really nice out though. It's beautiful. So
so we drove down to New Jersey, hanging out with my parents. Haven't seen my parents in a year. Because of that good old COVID.
Now,
good old COVID.
Okay, listen.
So how was your weekend?
My weekend, I was with my mama all weekend. It was good. I got home from Texas, from Austin on Friday night. And then my mother did help me sort all my socks. And I realized this weekend I have a lot of socks.
A lot of socks? I have I don't know about you, but I've had the worst time during quarantine, finding socks that match.
My mother griped at me. She's like, why do you have, what have you not paired your socks in 3 years? What's going on? She was very disappointed in me. And I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But my husband this weekend, when I see him, is going to get a ton of socks. So if he wonders where all the socks are at his house in Oklahoma, I have them. Yeah. But
you've been gallivanting around the country.
Not really. I was gallivanting to one place.
No, you went more than one place. You've been you know what it is? Because you went to Oklahoma, but that was to help your mom. So it seemed like you've been traveling a lot.
No, I went to Oklahoma to see my husband.
Sorry, where does your mom live?
Here.
Wait.
I had to go to Portland to pick her up though, because
That's
Portland,
what I meant. You went to
I had to
Portland.
escort. Yes, for those that don't know, my mother has dementia and she cannot fly by herself.
Right. Yeah, but that's what I remember. You went to Portland and then you went to Austin and you looked in Jason Abrams's window to see what he was doing.
Well, his window, his kitchen, Annie Switt's front porch. I sat in Josh Team's backseat of his car. It wasn't too weird, I don't think. I sat in his kid's car seat. I just wanted to see what it was like.
I thought he was driving and you were just down beneath the seat and you were like, hey Josh.
Yeah. I mean, as far as Gary, I just pretended I was a landscaper and I could just touch, I could see every side of his house. So it wasn't too weird. Probably the most violating was when I'm a little embarrassed to say this, but it was when I took a bath in J. Papazan's bathtub.
Oh, you took a bath. I feel like that's a movie, where you go into someone's house and you start living in their house. That's super creepy. By the way, John Schumacher or Shoes, he goes, "Can we just get to Shelby?"
No,
Let me tell you.
Shoes.
Let me tell you something. Shoes. Let me tell you something. Shoes. I
What's
don't
your
think
morning
we.
show?
I don't think we did that when you were on. Okay.
Shoes, why don't you get your own morning show with 12 viewers?
We have more than 12 right now. We have like
You think
12
so?
times 3. 12 times 3.
Okay. So did you guys fly to New Jersey or did you drive?
No, we drove. One
How long
straight
did you
shot.
drive? I just don't.
9.5 hours, 10 hours.
Did you take the Volt?
No, we took our Traverse. We took the big car. We can't drive. I mean, we could drive to New Jersey in the Volt, but it's just not big enough. It's not like, we have a Traverse and spacious and, all that stuff. And
How did the kids do in the car for 10 hours?
They were actually really good this time because usually we'll cut it in half.
Yeah.
But this time, we don't want to stay in a hotel if we don't have to on the way to my parents' house. So we just drove straight through. We had a picnic lunch, like in Pennsylvania. They have these rest stops, but it's big open with like picnic benches and they're spread out. And so,
well, I was wondering about that because I had driven back and forth to Oklahoma a few times, to see Joel, and the rest stops were less than desirable in cleanliness. And so then I just had to think of alternatives. So I was curious about what you do.
Well, first of all, the Ohio rest stops are beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Oh,
and yeah, they're very clean. Mm-hmm. So we would just go in to go to the bathroom real quick and come out. We didn't like stay in there. But then the rest stops in Pennsylvania are kind of more like just bathrooms in like a building, and outside there's picnic benches. So that's what we did. And the kids ran around, but everything was great. And everyone all over the place wearing masks, which was awesome. I love when that happens. And what else was I going to say? And Shoes says he wants to put us out of business, which, he wouldn't want to put us out of business. I thought he said he did want to put us out of business.
Okay.
I read it really fast. I was like, that's actually very, very mean.
He's not, he doesn't have a mean bone in him.
Yesterday I'm just kidding. So New Jersey has the best, first of all, anybody, you know what? I am willing to debate or defend this to the ends of the earth. New Jersey has the best bagels and the best pizza. You cannot even come close. Don't even try it.
Is it really thin like pizza?
It's no. It's a little thicker. It's like in between thin and thick. And then you can fold it, and they're big slices. Basically one slice is a meal, basically. And yesterday, and you can't go to a good deli, like a real legit deli outside of New Jersey. Yesterday I went to the Italian deli near my parents' house, had like Ann got like a chicken cutlet sandwich, we got chicken parmesan, it was very good. I can't, maybe tomorrow I'll get a bacon, an everything bagel with ham, egg, and cheese. The Jersey special. It's good.
All right. So I just have a question. There's obviously a lot of news this weekend going on in the world, but I think the biggest, hottest topic was you posting a picture with your shirt off again.
You know what? Let me tell you something. I am proud of myself. Okay.
You should be.
There's a fat kid in me always trying to get out. For a good portion of my life, I've been overweight. And I am proud of myself for staying to my diet and my exercise, and I finally have a flat stomach, and so I'm super proud of myself. So you know what? All you haters out there, keep scrolling or unfriend me. I don't care. You don't want to see any of this? Then don't connect with me on Facebook.
Now, is that the house you grew up in?
No.
Okay. It looks really pretty.
It's great.
Is it the greatest thing?
My parents bought a bigger house when I moved out.
Isn't it so right? They're like more space because they didn't have to keep an eye on you. But Isn't it amazing, like Zoom, because I love looking in people's houses so much. And so I'm always looking at a room and I love looking around and like seeing what their room, like I saw like the director of, oh, wow.
So
that's real nice.
The back of my parents' house.
Yeah, that's really pretty. Oh, Japanese maple. I love a Japanese maple.
And this is where I was sitting.
Oh, that's so
pretty.
pretty.
And then the backyard is really big.
Oh, that's really pretty. Wow. Okay. Oh, hi. Projects. Okay. So I love love looking at people's houses. Okay, can we bring in our guest now? Now you're moving around too much and I'm getting nauseous. Who has motion sickness?
Show me the house. Let me
We're
see the
talking-
house. Don't show me the house. Stop.
What? Look at our beautiful guest today. Nick, you're out. Shelby Ryburn,
Hey,
you're in. Shelby,
I made
where
it.
are you? That looks prettier than where Nick is.
Yeah, I'm in Destin, Florida, and it's not a bummer. It's not a bummer.
It's not so bad.
It's not awful. Yeah.
Okay,
It's
who are you?
definitely the opposite of terrible.
Right. Who am I? I'm Shelby Ryburn. I've been around the company for quite some time. Let's see
It's
here.
like hanging around it.
It's just I'm just making the rounds. You know what I mean? Just
You kind of are.
that I can find is really what I'm doing. Yeah. So I am, let's see here, been team leader, right? Caryn, you and me, team leaders for a while. Nick, team leader for a while. And was a team leader in the Carolinas. Then back in California, where I'm born and raised and from, although I'm not there right now, even though you can't tell whether that palm tree is, that palm tree. Woo, this is deceiving. That palm tree.
You could be either in California or Florida. Really,
I know. I like to trick people. So moved back to California, where I'm born and raised 3.5 years ago. I live in the greater Sacramento area, and I'm one of the co-owners of the Moore Real Estate Group with my partners, Brian Martell and Ricky O'Neill. And we're having fun.
Oh yeah. When did you step out of TL role?
Oh,
But then she was an area director too.
yeah. So regional area director last year in 2019, and then stepped out of that and OP role basically at the end of the year last year. So stepped back into the sales gig in January, which is where, I was originally licensed in California down in like the Hollywood area in 2006. So
Really good. Okay,
Yeah,
can I?
What's the difference between an area director and a regional director?
Dude, the RD is way more important. Way more important.
I think I know what the area director is, but I don't think I know. Can you
So
just?
for large regions, regions,
I'm
they
sorry.
will hire-
I asked. I don't know if I'm pretty sure Shelby can answer her own questions. Don't you think? That you can hear things. I didn't know if.
So Caryn is right. I would say that there were only 6 area directors in the country when I was an area director, and it was for the larger regions that had either more offices or bigger geographical territory to cover. And so we divided and conquered. Yeah. So
You know who's an area director? Dana Gentry's an area director.
Dana Gentry is an area director. She is. She's like legit. She's like one of the best,
I love Dana.
I do too. Okay, Shelby and I met in Atlanta, Georgia. In what year?
2015?
Maybe. Okay, it was at Recharge. It was Recharge. If people didn't know what Recharge was, it was a really cool coaching weekend. And we made eye contact, fell instantly in love. And then we were taking a group picture at the College Football Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Oh, we totally did. It literally was that way.
Guys.
So we're taking a group
I
picture.
thought that happened with us too, Caryn.
Yeah, that's how it happens. I have magic eyes. So we were taking taking a picture from in the balcony, looking down at the entire group. Okay, and this is like day 1.5 of Shelby and I knowing each other, and we decided, since we were really tall and there's no way to stand out because they all wanted us to stand like this, and Shelby and I decided, actually, that's not what we're going to do. So in the middle, are you ready, Shelby? We're going to hit the pose. In the middle of the group, 1, 2, 3. And we did back to back.
And everybody else was just like normal, and you guys are like Charlie's Angels. Okay, here's what we're going to do.
What you know of us, that can't surprise me.
What are you doing in Florida? Are you going to conquer down there, or are you just on vacation?
So I'm on vacation at the moment, but I flew into Birmingham, Alabama on Thursday to come to Destin with family friends that I've known since I was 4 years old for the weekend. But the reason I came to Alabama is to actually teach the Leverage series, which I'm teaching next week back in Alabama. Actually, not next week, tomorrow.
What part of Florida are you in right now? Are you in like the Pensacola area or like?
Destin.
That's all very. Oh, Destin.
Destin.
I went because in January before we before like, major quarantine, I went to like a dozen market centers, and then like I think I was in Alabama. I was in a couple in Louisiana, Alabama, Florida, but I know that like Pensacola and Alabama, or I don't know. I don't even know. I drove to one of them from one state to another.
I'll say this, my partner Ricky always gives me a really hard time because I'm terrible at geography, like awful. Like thankfully I know my market that I'm in, but if you ask me where Ohio is, I'm like,
yeah, I just realized Ohio was under me, and I've lived in Michigan for 2 years. But whatever. Listen,
so you get it.
Caryn,
You get it.
You know what, Caryn? Listen, I don't even. GPS makes us stupid, basically.
That is true.
Pensacola is actually Central Time. It's like way over there in Florida, and then it's
I'm in
close.
Central Time right now too, but I'm in Destin. Like Destin is like just below Alabama on the left side, like west side.
That was really when I used to live in Amarillo, Texas, which is closer to Denver than it is Dallas. Okay, but Dallas was our region. Amarillo is also Central Time, and it's so far west. It's right next to New Mexico.
Yeah, it's weird. It's wonky where the time zones start.
When Nick and I are president and vice president, we're going to fix.
Well, that's going to be really soon because I bet people that thought they were jumping onto Commander's geography this morning.
What did you say, Shelby?
I just want to know if I have a place in your cabinet.
Oh my gosh, yeah. What would you like your job to be? Like, name it. Just donate some money to our fund.
$10.
Do whatever you want.
My role.
Yeah. What do you want to be in our campaign, in our administration?
I like to talk. Maybe the press secretary. I don't know.
Secretary.
You know what? You would actually be really good at that job because you're so politically correct. You're so polite.
Yes, and you are a team leader.
Oh,
right. I know I'm VPC.
Area director.
That's going to be a lot of work, though, to make our words nice, polite, and politically correct.
Also, because Caryn and we get into a lot of trouble, so you're going to have to cover that up a lot.
Well, that's a lot of filtering. Layers of filtering, I would imagine.
Right. You'd be like, Nick is not hungover now.
Tell me about your real estate. What about your real estate team? Because that was probably. Oh, you're my first lady.
Oh, I'm your first lady.
Charlie.
Already we have a scandal.
Technically, Caryn Shawley's the first lady for me.
Oh, yeah, she probably deserves that seat more than I do.
She does. I mean, she's worked hard for it. Okay, so tell them about your team. Was that scary to leave, like, what you knew to be comfortable and jump into this team thing? What made you do it?
Yeah, it's interesting because it's been, let's see here, it's 2020. It's been probably 11, 12 years since I've sold. And so I was like, am I going to be good at selling real estate again? Like, can I do it? I don't know, So it was scary, yet at the same time, I'm a coach, I'm a trainer. And so it's now just turning that around and coaching and training myself. Right. It's been pretty incredible because, life is a journey, and I feel like I've had a lot of experiences, and every single one of them has caused a lot of growth. And now I get to sort of marry my leadership with my desire to win and achieve often. So I learned very quickly again that I do love to sell, and I love to sell as many as I can because I like to win often. It makes me feel like I'm achieving something and doing good. And yet I might be one of those, like, I always, we talk about the disc, right? Everybody knows about the disc. I think I'm a good example of a bipolar disc person because I'm a really high D and a really high I. So, like, I'm not just motivated by winning often, though I love it. I also love being in relationship with people and, like, them leaning into me and looking for support and still calling me 3 months after they've bought a home. And, like, that relationship element of it is so fun. It's like so rewarding, and I haven't had it in a long time, and it's different. Even though in the team leader role, right, we recruit, we train, we coach, and so there's a lot of like reward in that also. But this is just a different type of reward that I'm really, really enjoying on the sales side. But then I get to marry that with my leadership career. Our team has gone from 6 to 16 people in a year.
Wow.
Yeah. This time last year they did. They had 6 without me, and then we have 16 this year. And they had 93 units last year. We'll do 160 this year.
Wow.
So what's your average sales price?
Our average sales price is $500,000.
Oh man, that's a good number. Hey,
It's a good
question. So the group was there before you, or did you start the group?
So they were Martell O'Neill. Like, this is funny, but I have my shirt on because we're heavily branded. We have fun branding.
I've seen your branding is like pretty amazing.
It's
I've
super
seen
fun. We have a team of creative people behind us. So the M and the O was Martell O'Neill, meaning Ryan Martell and Ricky O'Neill. So the R is Shelby Ryburn. So they were just Martell O'Neill Real Estate. They didn't use like the Moore brand. So it was really kind of ideal when I came on board that we just added the R, and then the E is for the word experience. And for us, you guys both know that when you have a team of people, you have to take care of them. I think that teams often have high turnover, and we're trying to avoid that. So our experience is certainly about our clients and making sure that we're building forever clients that are repeat referral business and feel like they're part of our world and part of our circle forever. Yet we want that same feeling to be very, very prevalent on the inside of our business with our team members as well. So we spend a lot of time doting on our people, developing our people, growing our people, and creating opportunity for our people so that they have an experience also.
You know, I think it's awesome. Like, you know, there's few people in our industry that can really walk the walk too. You know, you were a TL and then you just exited that and went back into sales after what you said, a decade or something.
Yeah,
more than that.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do? I just did the calculations. It's probably around 80 million if you're going to do 160 with $500,000 price point. Like to do that so quickly after stepping out of TL means that what you are teaching your agents works. You know what I mean? I mean, what you are teaching your agents and not doing yourself for so long just kind of stuck inside your brain, and you put it to use on your own. It's just kind of a cool story, right? To see that happen so quickly after not selling for so long.
Well, you know, the great news is my partners, Brian and Ricky, had this incredible foundation, right? I mean, they have done a lot of business for a lot of years and had a great reputation in town. But our job is to become an attraction magnet for talent and for clients, right? And so we're just focused more on our culture than anything else. And then I think that probably what's unique about our team is because I've spent so many years in leadership, I'm constantly assessing how to help our people get better, right? Versus just hoping they make it or winging it into success. And so, you know, I really feel like we're still just getting started. And I think that culture and training and coaching are always going to be sort of the pillar of success for us.
Well, I think it's fascinating because you also had the same fears with all the experience you have. And I think it's also scary a little bit because everybody's watching, right? Is she going to walk the walk that, you know, walk the talk? And is it really going to happen for her? Like, that's a lot of added pressure in addition to just making it happen for yourself and providing an income. You know, I think it's, that takes a lot of courage. So I commend you for that. Oh, lights just went out of my office.
I know, I saw that. What's neat is all of my time and leadership over the years has parlayed well into my business. I mean, 80% of my business are agent referrals just from relationships that I've had for years. And that's incredible. That's very rewarding to know that those relationships have turned into, you know, trustworthy opportunities.
So like, what do you want to, you know, you were in leadership for so long. I mean, you're still in leadership after I think once you're in a leadership role and you step out of that, you're still in leadership regardless. Yeah. But what, you know, where do you want to go from here? You know, you have your team. What do you think? I'm always thinking for myself personally, like what's next, right?
Yeah.
Like what do you think is next? What's the next step?
So I think for the first time, if I should say this or not, I don't know, but I'm going to.
Just say it, girl.
I've arrived in this space where I'm like, this is my journey. Like, this is my long game. Because Brian and Ricky did a really incredible job of building market share in their local market in Folsom, California, which is a suburb of Sacramento. And they have 5% market share in that town, which is huge. We, the three of us, know some companies don't have 5% market share, much less 5% market share. and the team had 5% market share. So we're really trying to be purposeful and intentional and stick to a plan. So our next goal is to get 5% market share in Roseville, Rockland. Roseville used to be the number 1 market center in the world, so there's big opportunity there.
Were they really?
Yep.
Wow, I had no idea.
And then 5% market share in Sacramento. Now Sacramento is huge. I mean, 5% market share there is 583 units in and of itself. So
Get there, you're like 25% there.
Yeah, right. There you go. So as you can see, like this trajectory is just getting started. I mean, so when you say what's next, I would say it's continuing to attract the very best talent, but more so I think what's important to us is to keep a strong culture. We do life together all the time. And that's the fun part. We know our people, we love our people, we know their families, and we want to support them. So I think the long game is just continuing to grow the business and, being known across the nation as that team that somehow keeps their people and keeps growing.
Well, I think it's fascinating because I think you're like, oh, I had doubts, I had questions, but I think those two are probably like, dude, we scored with Shelby because you're Shelby, and having a former team leader on a team that can look at something from a bird's eye view, like, do Rainmakers typically sit and work on the business to understand what it is to get more market share and where they need to go? And that is something like I think team leaders are good at, is looking at the numbers and strategizing and making a plan.
Yeah, I mean, we have so much of that innate training that just doesn't go away because you change roles, right? So I would say that is certainly my strength, is looking at the business as a whole and going, what systems do we need and how do we scale? Whereas I think a lot of agents, and you guys would probably agree to this, sort of have to find their way into that space accidentally by failing, right? First, and I'm not saying that we're not failing, we will, absolutely. But I feel pretty blessed that I've had all that training that will maybe help us avoid some pitfalls.
That's awesome. Okay. Yeah. Well, then what's next for you? So you're teaching career visioning. So you still get to go teach, you still get to go train.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would say I'll continue to do that. I mean, I recognized very early on that pouring into people is my DNA. It's the number one thing that gives me the most joy and the most life and the most energy. And so I'd love to teach. So I will continue to teach across the country. I teach Leverage Series. I teach the Business Planning Clinic, and a bunch of other content that I wrote as well. So teaching is sort of a theme in my life that I'll continue for a long time. So, teaching, coaching, training, and selling and growing the business.
Are you teaching people to get yourself some leverage at home? Because that was.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about what's going on at home.
Yeah, so I'm here with my whole family. My husband and kids are upstairs on the 10th floor sleeping still, because it's vacation. So why wouldn't you just keep sleeping, right?
Yeah.
And
I don't know what vacation is. I don't know. Right. It's been a long time since I've been able to do that.
Your whole life is a vacation.
My whole life is definitely not a vacation, Caryn.
Nick,
why don't you tell Ann that my life's a vacation?
I didn't say it was for her.
All right, go ahead, Shelby.
Well, anyone that follows me on social media knows that my kids are like my life. They're like my favorite part of living. They're like my oxygen. So I take them anywhere I can, when I can, which isn't always possible. But my little boy is in first grade this year. My daughter's in her last year of preschool, and they're not perfect, don't get me wrong, but they still, they're my oxygen. So
that's awesome.
Yep.
What's it been like for you during COVID? Like, what have you been?
And the fires.
Yeah.
Oh, and the fires. Yeah. Wow.
You're not kidding. So I'll answer the fire question first, and then COVID. The fires are no joke. Like, I don't know how much, the world is in tune to it outside of California. I know it's on national news, etc., but it is not a small thing. It is a significant thing year after year after year. 2 years ago, we had one of our worst. It was the Camp Fire in Chico, which is about an hour and 10 minutes from where I live. Plane, can't hear it. And it essentially destroyed a whole town. And it was one of those like 1 lane in, 1 lane out towns. So it killed a ton of people who just couldn't get out because it was gridlocked. A lot of elderly people live in that town, so they just couldn't move fast enough to get out of town. It was awful, and they're awful again this year, and they seem to maybe not get worse, but I don't know, man. It's not a joke. It's a bad thing, and they're all over California every year from about August to October.
It's frightening. I mean, and I asked you this earlier, like, are people moving out of California?
Yes, 100%. Now, there could be two reasons for that. We won't totally go down the political road, but there could be some of that also. But the fires are definitely causing people to move. We have a lot of fires. Caryn, you and I were in Napa a year and a half ago, and a lot of people are moving out of Napa because there have been fires there 3 years in a row, and they're tired of it. So they're either moving out of state or they're moving to our area, Greater Sacramento, because we seem to be a little bit more insulated. There's not, we're not in an area where there's forests all around us. And typically where you're going to see the fires are where there's a lot of vegetation. So we have seen people move out of California in record numbers, more than ever before. I think there's probably two reasons for that, but fires certainly are a portion of that reason. For sure. So as far as
I heard that I was going to just say, I heard that the fires made their way up to Napa, right? Like they're burning.
Yeah. Oh, no. I mean, we were talking about Calistoga. The winery Calistoga is like completely gone. My best friend and I last week. I think I'm still getting wine deliveries from that day in Napa.
Yeah, we spent a lot of money that day in Napa. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, a lot of wineries have been taken, which is sad because that replanting all of that is not an easy feat because the soils are destroyed, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's someone's livelihood. Like oftentimes they have to go find something different to do with their life and career. Can you imagine?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is. It's so many family-owned businesses and lives that are affected by it, and people don't understand just what this life leads to, this business, to this occupation, to this, it's the mechanic who repairs the trucks, that work on the farms, that, it's crazy. It's awful. It is awful.
So many ancillary effects.
Yeah. Well, that's the big word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was the big word.
Who's the press secretary at that moment?
This is why, like, exactly the press secretary, like, I can say it, like, wrap it up and then tie it up and put it in a bow and make it so pretty, and then send it out. And then Caryn, stop talking. Caryn, no more words. You're dangerous.
Caryn, stop tweeting.
Caryn, stop TikToking. It's unprofessional.
I don't know.
Okay. So, Shelby, what books do we need to read? Because you're a big journaler, you're a big reader. Oh, look at
you. You got your books there with you?
I am. Well, this would be my book, right?
Is it Blinkist?
It's Audible because I can't read. Like if I try and read a page, like an actual book, like words on a page,
right,
I will either be asleep in a few minutes, or I will have to read the same thing 13 times and I still won't know what I read because
Shelby, can I tell you something?
I have to do both. I have to do both.
I have that too, Shelby. It's
okay.
Actually, that's like what you just said, when you have to reread things over and over. It's actually a mild form of dyslexia.
Oh, interesting.
Because I have that too.
I don't comprehend anything.
Yeah, but I prefer to read, because the more you do it, the better you get at like understanding what's on the page. But yes, if you're having to read paragraphs over and over again and it's not sinking in, and you find yourself thinking about something else while you're reading and you just read words but you didn't, it's actually a mild form of dyslexia. So, I mean, I've been in therapy long enough to know that. So just so you know.
Thank you for that. No, that's helpful. Because I've always been a really slow reader and I've had to do things over and over and over again. And like, I cannot stay focused on the words in front of me.
Do you ever read, sorry, Shelby and I are bonding here on dyslexia, Caryn. Just one second. Do you ever read things? Are you a horrible proofreader?
No, I think I might be good at that because I'm a perfectionist.
Okay. I'm a terrible proofreader, but only because I see words differently the way they are written on the page. So I can't find mistakes in words.
Okay.
That's obviously a form of dyslexia too, but what you mentioned before, yeah, that's what it is.
Interesting. That's like hashtag understood. Felt understood just now, Nick. Yeah.
Caryn, you can talk now. What's up, Caryn?
No, you two are bonding.
Well,
God forbid.
so okay, books. So I'm kind of like an all over the place in terms of like genres sort of person. So I just read a great book called Get Out of Your Head. I mean, because who doesn't need that, right? And then our team is about to dive into The Experience, which is all about the Disney experience. And credit to Lance Loken, our good buddy Lance. So that is the book to read. I'm also reading The Burr Method.
What is that?
About investing, and my coach has me reading that.
Who's your coach?
Jordan Freed.
Oh my gosh, he coaches Josh Anderson and Jenny Wolak and some other amazing rock stars.
All the big wigs.
He says that he coaches a bunch of mega moms, and he goes, I don't know how I keep attracting all these mega moms. I'm like, well, okay, now I belong. Thank you.
He only coaches MILFs.
Shelby, now you need to be press secretary because the president can't call people MILFs.
Oh, you're right.
What she meant to say was milk. She forgot milk at the store.
Forgot milk.
Is what she likes, milk in her cereal. Yes. Didn't say MILF.
Yes.
This is why I can't be president. Okay.
So lots of books. I mean, I'm usually reading a lot of things. Although because I say reading, right? I mean, really hearing, audible. But every now and then I have to take a break because I'm a musician at heart, right? Like music fuels my soul. So every now and then I just got to put that stuff aside and sing. So
have you watched those Netflix series from like making the songs and the David Foster and how music is made and all these documentaries and stuff about it? It's really cool.
Hey Shelby, do you have Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Okay, because there's a lot of Disney Plus shows about Disney World and about the company and about how the parks operate and how company operates. Yeah, there's a lot of like original programming around how the company just functions. So dig into that too if you're going to read The Experience, because a lot of that can teach you stuff.
My best friend that I was with this past week worked for Disney. And so it's really cool to learn how they train their people and
it's super cool.
What'd you say?
Yeah, it's super cool.
Oh, I just thought you were dismissing me again. Sorry.
No, I would never do that.
I mean, they have undoubtedly built an empire through
Caryn is like
Caryn can get past it.
I'm in like a lose-lose today. So
no, you're not.
Do I need to get stuff out of you guys to start hugging?
Yeah, we need to start hugging. No, it's no, I just need some Shelby time. I mean, I haven't talked to you.
This isn't the time to have Caryn and Shelby time on Command Your Morning.
Do you know when we talk, Nick? At like 12 a.m. We'll talk for like 2 hours.
So, Caryn, are you talking to her at the same time you're talking to me? Because that's kind of when we talk.
No, actually, we talk at 10 o'clock at night.
Oh. Okay. Caryn texts me at like midnight.
I got stuff done.
I'm sleeping. I get up. Anne's like, "Who's that? Is that Caryn?" I'm like, "Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta wake up." I'm just kidding.
Tell Anne I'm gonna get you like a right hand wedding ring. Like,
I'm not sure how that'll go over.
Anne knows. She's very aware.
Okay.
Yeah, good. She's good. All right, Shelby Ryburn, where do we find you?
What?
Where can we get in touch with you if I want my house?
Like, huh?
Give me a sense.
You can find me on Facebook. It's just Shelby Ryburn. I do have an Instagram, but everybody would tell you that I'm not really very good at using it very often. So Facebook is probably better. Shelby Ryburn at kw.com. Or you can find me on Kelly too. You can find me on Kelly.
Look at that. Plug in the tech.
Well,
and if you want to find her, she's in Florida. So
if you want to stalk her, she's in Destin at 1263 Bird Street.
On the 10th floor. We know she's on the 10th floor of some hotel.
Apartment 1004.
I am on the 10th floor. Yeah, I'm in Florida right now. I'll be teaching the Leverage Series in Alabama tomorrow and Wednesday, and then back to Greater Sacramento. So
you told that amazing Kathy Gibson I said hi. So
Whoop, whoop.
love you guys.
all right, I'm going to play some music on the way out, so I expect you to dance. Nick, are you going to take your shirt off and dance? Nick, are you going to take it off? I'm just curious.
I don't want to break the internet again.
See my hips, big hips, so shy. See my butts and my lips, don't shy. Lost a few pounds in my waist, oh yeah. It's the kind of beat that go rat-ta-ta, rat-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. Sex me so
Whoa, I just got really dizzy.
Oh my God, don't hurt yourself.
Bye.